Hey everybody, Hunter coming back at you again. Doing my finish up video here on the GMC Astro that I was working on. Finally got this thing finished. First model I've completed since I think all around in October of last year, so I'm real happy with that. Pretty happy with the way the thing came out. Did something a little different for me, and that's doing the weathering and, you know, kind of dirtying it up a little bit. I usually don't do that on my models. They're usually either showroom finish or, you know, very, very clean custom stuff. So this one here was a stretch for me, but I think overall it came out well. I talked to a few of the armor modelers at the show that I debuted it at, and they thought that the weathering was spot on. So, you know, if those guys are looking at it and going, yeah, everything looks good, and, you know, they did give me a couple pointers in some areas on the weathering, and that's cool. You know, that's something that helps me, you know, become a better modeler later on. So I take what those guys have to say, and I take it to heart, and I put it to use on my next projects. But I'm going to do something a little bit different here on my video. My camera's sitting up in front of me here. I'm going to actually just use the camera as a handheld and just kind of go around the model and show you how this thing came out and some of the things that I've done to it. And that way you can see the detail a little bit better in it. So we'll get right into it here. Hopefully this works out. I'll try to keep it in focus as much as I can. So let's give it a shot and see what happens. Okay, there we go. That's the GMC Astro AMT kit, 1/25th scale. I've actually got it sitting on my Tamiya rotary stand here, so I'll just spin it around and let you get an overall view of it. Before we go into some of the details that I added to it. And like I say, it came out pretty good. It's not perfect, but then again, I haven't seen a perfect model yet. And if I ever get lucky enough to build a perfect model, that'll be my last one. Because if you build a perfect model, you can't get any better. So, but there's an overview of it. Basically, I think we'll start with, like on the frame rails on this truck. This is the kit frame rails, but I went in and shaved all of the molded in bolt detail off of it. And let me see if I can get the camera to focus in here on some stuff. All the bolts and fasteners that you see in the frame rails, on the fifth wheel plate there, on the catwalk, on the deck plate there, the fuel tank strap, brackets, all that stuff was all added bolt detail where you drill a hole and put a plastic bolt in. So it comes out a little bit more realistic. And as you know, this truck started as a sleeper cab. I cut it down to, actually took 1.25 inches out of it and made my own day cab panel for the back of it. And I know the video is probably going to be a little shaky here. Like I say, I'm holding it in my hand, so, you know, bear with me on that. I'm just trying to, you know, get a little bit better shots of the details in it for you guys. But yeah, I cut this thing down to the day cab. It's the first day cab I've ever built, so it came out pretty good as far as, you know, scratch building the panel and getting it blended in and looking decent. I did hinge the doors. I'm not going to shut the door all the way here because it's a little bit of a bear to get back open. But the doors are hinged. And some of the added stuff I put on it is the Photo-Etch slam locks. I actually bent the wire bracket, or the mirror brackets, out of brass wire and used photo-etched brackets for the antennas. And the interior came out pretty good. It's slightly weathered to kind of keep the look going on the truck. And just basically kit inside, other than the floor pan. I had to modify the floor pan because of the open door. The door panels are not accurate to this truck. They're actually out of the parts box. I needed something to kind of, you know, fill in some empty areas that the kit left, so I added those in there out of the parts box. The fire extinguisher sealer on the floor, that's all scratch built, every piece in it. It has the pin for the release, the hose, it has a pressure gauge on it, and a custom decal, which says Kid on it, which is the manufacturer of that fire extinguisher. The steps there are bent out of brass wire. Now the one thing that I didn't add to this is this top battery box right here. This is actually hinged for the interstate batteries I'm going to put in it. I didn't get that done for the show. I was up to 3 o'clock in the morning trying to wrap this thing up, so that didn't get done. That is something that's going to get added to this truck. And like I say, I built the fuel tanks are scratch built with photo etch steps on them there. Even put in the fuel lines and the sending unit wires. It has the crossover crossover tubes that goes from one tank to the other at the bottom. And I added some quarter fenders out of another kit and kind of damaged the top of them there a little bit to make them look a little bit more realistic. And added some brass valve stems to the wheels, and just a slight amount of weathering, dry brushing, and black wash on the wheels. It came out pretty decent. It's totally plumbed and wired. Back there in the back, you can actually see the taillight panel that I built. It actually has the wires going to the taillight, and you can see some of the air tanks there. And the fifth wheel is done with my artist oil paints. Combination of 2 different colors to do that, and also on the ramps on the back of the frame is done with that. On the stack, there's a photo etch rain guard on the top of the stack. That's a multi-piece unit. Very difficult little piece to build. I was about ready to give up on it, and finally about the 3rd or 4th try I got it right. So, and the photo etched muffler shield on it. The grab handles on the side of the cab are brass wire that's been bent. Added some mounts to the air deflector and bracing underneath of it, and that was modified a little bit to fit the day cab. Scratch built the cab mounts. It is the factory kit engine in here. Just basically assembled pretty much box stock, and just did a black wash on it. I got some of my buddy Earl's airlines on there. I actually had to move those around a little bit and change them from what he sends you. The coil was a little bit too big for this model, so I toned it down a little bit, but Earl does a very nice job on those airlines. It even comes with the glad hands and the electrical connectors, and very nice pieces. So thank you, Earl, for those. I think they run like 15 bucks and well worth it for anybody that's building a truck. And on the exhaust, that's all scratch built. I did a little bit of weathering on that with metallizers. And we'll go ahead and move on around to the back of it here. I did the scratch built rear tail light panel in it. The mud flaps are, yeah, excuse me if I can talk here. Mud flaps are scratch built, and yeah, I see a little bit of a hair there. Get that off there. We don't need that on it. But yeah, it's all weathered and detailed underneath. Actually, when I displayed this, it was on a mirror, so all the judges got to look up underneath of it to see what all was done. And basically the same thing down this side. Just kept the weathering pretty consistent. I added straps to the air cleaner housing there, and added steps to it, and scratch built the air intake tube. The lubrifinder I got on that bracket right there, that round cylinder thing, I still have to plumb that yet. I didn't quite get that done, so that's something I've got to stick on it. Just little stuff. And the weathering on the wheels and stuff came out real good. I was very happy with the wheels. A little bit of subtle dry brushing and some, black wash that came out decent. We'll move around to the front here. I did the painted bumper on this one just to kind of keep it the period look to it. And the grill is a Photo-Etch grill from, I think it's CTM Truck Models. They do a very nice Photo-Etch set for this. The GMC emblems are actually Photo-Etched. And if you move around to the side here, on the door, the GMC emblem there that actually says Astro 95 underneath of it, that's out of that kit. Very nice pieces. And just, added a few details here and there. The roof lights are actually out of another kit. They were out of the parts box. One of the hardest things I did to this, and that's true on a lot of my models that I've put these on, is the Photo-Etch Wipers. They are actually from KFS out of England. And they're a very nice piece. They look very realistic, but they are a bear to get right. So it took me a little while to get those on here on this truck and looking right and even. So, but we finally got it. But hopefully that gives you a little bit of a overview of how this thing came out. Like I say, I'm real happy with it. Not 100%, but I'll never be 100% happy with any of my models. That's what keeps me trying to push the envelope a little bit. So, if you got any questions or concerns or anything on the model, or, you need to know how something was done on it, or, where I got the parts, just, leave me a comment on the video, and I'll get back to you on that. So I'm going to set the camera back up here so we can finish up this video. Let me put it back up here in its holding spot. There we go. Now you get to look at my ugly mug again. But yeah, like I say, it came out pretty decent. I'm real happy with it. I'm real happy to actually get one accomplished after all this crap I've been going through and, personal stuff here lately. But, it came in, to let everybody know, it came in second at the show, that it debuted at. The show that I went to, they actually, do the listing on the class as truck. And, of course, when they do that, you can have pickups in that class. You can have a little bit of everything in there. And the pickup that took first place had a lot of scratch-built components on it, a lot of aluminum and turned metal work on it. Pretty decent model. And I guess it was decent enough to go on and win Best Automotive and Best in Show. So, coming in second to a model that does that at an IPMS event, I'll take that. I like to go and especially in my class, I like to be the one that comes out with the top award. But, I got on the podium and, that's a plus. It's getting harder and harder to get on this podium, and I've noticed, especially this year, the competition is really stepping up, and you have to be on your A game if you're going to come to these competitions and look to walk out with an award. It's tough. I mean, everybody, I think everybody builds for fun, and I think that's the main thing to this hobby is to have fun in it. But, there is several ways to have fun. A lot of people like to build models and take them to a show and just set them on the table, and they don't worry about, if they get an award or this or that and the other, and that's fine. I have no problem with that. I'm the type of person that when I go to a show or especially a contest, I'm there to get on the podium. That's just that. I build my models, the way that, a model should be built as far as the attention to the modeling basics, the attention to detail, try to make things in scale. My stuff is not totally accurate, far from it. A lot of what I do is called fantasy detailing. My air tanks on this model here are not plumbed exactly the way a real truck is. Just like the air chambers for the brakes are all plumbed, but they're not exact. There's other valves and stuff that they go to before they go to the brake chambers. And I just go in there and kind of, freeform that kind of stuff and, make it look as good as I can. But But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get this video cut off here. It's getting a little long, but I just wanted to show everybody my little Astro and how it came out, and hopefully y'all like it. And I got another project in the works here in my head, so we'll see if I can keep this trend going of getting them finished here. So, like I say, any questions or concerns, just leave me a comment on the video. I'll be more than glad to get back to you on it. And everybody out there, y'all doing some great work and making some nice videos. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm watching. I don't comment all the time, but I'm definitely looking at your videos and watching your work. And y'all are doing a great job. So I'm going to let you go on that. We'll talk to you a little bit later. Everybody have fun. Keep building. Bye-bye.